Hello. Welcome to my show. You're listening to another BlackSwanRadio.com podcast. I am your host, Rondell L. Jordan. And today, I want to have a conversation with you about determination. I think determination is one of my favorite words because, it's kind of poetic because of its dual meaning. In order to, so powerful because a determination is something that you make, right? You make a determination to do something. And then it takes determination to get it done, to get there. But if you exercise the determination to do what you determined to do, at the end of it, the prize is to live in the realization of it all. And, a lot of times, you want to experience these, realizations with others. But sometimes you just can't. There's a lot of life is a co-piloting experience or a co-pilot experience. And when I say this is because it's between you and God. It's between you and your Most High. This is the reason why I think determination is so important, because others may not be able to understand your determination. And what I've realized is a lot of people will take that and they will use words like stubborn to describe determination, because you may not give up in a healthy way. People don't understand that determination. When you are running and you get tired, you get to the point where the 50% that would even do the running would quit. 50% of the people who would do the running would quit. So let's say 50% of those would keep going. But then you get to a point where your mind may want to stop again. And another 25% of the population would stop there. But you continue. Now, you could have stopped before. The only reason why you didn't, you were tired before. The reason why you didn't is because you determined not to. You said, yes, I'm tired. Yes, I'm gasping for air. But I'm going to continue to this next benchmark. And only because you put that benchmark there is the reason why at that benchmark you want to give up. And once you realize this, that next 25% that's continuing to run, which is just 50% of those who would even do the race in the first place. They're the ones who, when they reach the benchmark, they said, you know what? I can do the next benchmark as well. So this is a story about determination that is interpreted by some on the outside, spectators, as stubbornness, bullheadedness. I was looking at the word ego. And I remember being in psychology class, listening to how the ego was being described. EGO. When I say ego, right? EGO. And the reason why I say that is it's always described in a negative context. And I never understood why. Like it's the enemy, it's the problem, it's the downfall. But if you look at the definition, what does the definition say? What it means is a high esteem or regard for thyself. And so when you think about it, you're like, how is that negative? Why would that be negative? I would want to teach my child to have a sense of self-esteem and self-importance. I, as a father, want to boost the ego of my children so that they have a sense of self-worth, self-respect, importance, esteem. So in psychoanalysis, it's the part of the mind that meditates between, the part of the mind that mediates between the conscious and the unconscious and is responsible for reality testing and a sense of personal identity. Do you know where I'm going with that? Of course, the world outside continues to prove itself to be consistent in its attempt to subdue a person's sense of self-esteem and self-importance. So, of course, the ego is going to be considered a negative. But on the other hand, humble, Humble, humble. Everybody says, be humble, right? But humble is a low sense of self. Have you ever looked up the word humble? Having or showing a modest or low estimate of one's own importance. Sit down, be humble. Are you serious? Definition number 2 of low social, administrative, or political rank. Lower. Someone in dignity or importance. I knew he had humbled himself to ask for my help. He came from a humble, unprivileged background. He was humble about his stature as one of rock history most influential guitarists. Humble. And humility is the quality of being humble, showing modest or low estimate of one's own importance. So our society pushes us to be humble, showing a modest or low estimate of one's own importance. And it suppresses a person's sense of self-esteem and self-importance by criticizing the ego or demonizing the ego, which in metaphysics or philosophy is a conscious thinking subject, a person, a conscious thinking individual. It's the ego. It's the consciousness within yourself. It could be your inner God that has been discredited, disconnected, demonized, and suppressed as an enemy because it is counter to the objective of keeping you humble, which is having or showing a modest or low estimate of one's own importance, a lower in dignity or importance. So to humiliate, to demean, to belittle, lower, degrade, debase, abase. This is the humble. Determined, having made a firm decision and being resolved not to change it. I was just telling the story of this past weekend. I spent my 11th trip to Rio de Janeiro in Babylonia, and it's a community in the Leme region of Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. And this experience was extraordinary, and the view was spectacular. 180 degree view outside the window, in front of my bed, and to the side of my bed, and I don't know what else to say other than to say that this experience only happened as a result of determination, but it was a small test of determination. Like I said, you need to go through a test sometimes on your journey so that you have a testimony to that points in the direction of the Most High God, the divine, and your roots, which is your connection. Like I said, your connection to the divine. You have to have certain experiences in your life that really fortify your faith into a knowing. This is just why I'm a big proponent of exploration, going beyond those borders, right? The only reason why I made the trip is because there was an hour delay on my flight from Columbus to Houston. And there was enough time in between that flight schedule from Houston to Rio de Janeiro. The journey actually went absolutely perfect. But there was a hiccup